Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Look at this fantastic day ahead of us. Look at this beautiful group here at the Sarasota Garden Club. And I know the same is true for all of you joining us virtually this morning. Welcome. I'm Kathleen Frankert. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And it is a great day to be immersed in this one life, this one good. We call it God, the universe, divine, by whatever name. So glad that you're here with us this morning. This, as I said, is the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, and this is a place where we come together to deepen and strengthen our spiritual practice, and remembering the truth of who and whose we are. Because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we get out there in the world, and conditions and obstacles can present themselves, opportunities for growth and deepening. And here we get to come back and remember how to get back on the beam, as one of my spiritual teachers used to say. Get back on the beam, Kathleen. So I encourage you to just use this as an opportunity to do that for yourselves and to be enriched and fortified, not just by this place, because it is beautiful, it's very inspiring, but also by the message, of course, and by the beautiful music that we have to share today. Reverend Theresa Fieberts is our spiritual director, and she will be speaking to us today, continuing the exploration of our theme for the month, which is, that's how we've never done it before. So that's a little bit challenging right there, right? That's how we've never done it before. So today she's going to take this a little bit further, and her topic is step out, step up, and step forward to new possibilities in our lives. So perhaps we'll get another opportunity to let go of the never done it befores that might be percolating around in our thinking, and look at ways that we could step up, step forward into something new. Emily Frost, our beloved and beautiful musician today. Emily is back with us. Yes, we look forward to that. Thank you, Emily. And if you want to find out where Emily is appearing around Sarasota, she's got a music stand up here with her QR code, so you can snap that and find out more about her music. So welcome back, Emily. So with that introduction, let's just take a moment now. Let's just take a moment now to turn within, to let go of maybe some busyness that preceded your arrival here today, and maybe some things that might be coming up after this, and connect with the breath, and know with me, something wonderful, wonderful, wonderful is happening right now. And that is what we know as life. It is the life, the divine intelligence, God by whatever name, that is creating everything and everyone out of itself, that divine bounty, that ever-givingness of life to us. I affirm that for each one of us hearing these words today, whether in person or online, we find connection and encouragement in this community. We discover new avenues of understanding our true nature as a creation of this infinite good that God is. And I invite you to take as your own these encouraging words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, the architect of our teaching. Today I seek the divine pattern at the center of my own being. Affirming its reality, I permit its presence to flow through me. Claiming it as my very own, I embrace it. Believing in its beauty, I sense its harmony. Accepting its peace, I am calm. Living in its love, I am unified with life. Believing in its power with childlike faith, I accept the authority of its action in my everyday life. And looking at the good in humankind, I see everyone, in everyone, the pattern of God's perfection. So knowing this truth for each one, I affirm that as we gather in this community, we are blessed and a blessing to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. I bless the music, the message, and this time together as good and very good. I accept and expect this good for everyone hearing these words. And so it is. Welcome back, Emily. We're so happy to have you with us.
All right. I wrote a song. It's been a while. I've had a hard time, but I was just talking to Diane about this. I finally found out what I need in order to write, and it's a dark cocoon. So we just painted our bedroom like the darkest blue ever. Matt doesn't really like it. I love it. And I go in there and it's so dark. I even turned the lights off. I need to be in a dark cocoon, and now I'm starting to write and I figured it out. So that's so exciting. Yeah. So what inspired this song was last week and a half ago, I received an email from someone who decided to apologize to me about something he had done, which I never thought he would ever do in a million years. And the reason why he apologized to me, he told me he finally found God, which is also something I never thought I'd hear from him saying. So that was really exciting and great, and it made me believe in God even more. And so this song is about finding God or finding peace and letting go and letting Spirit guide you. And then you will hear beautiful noises. So this one is called Beautiful Noises. Take me to the sound, take me from underground. I'm losing my feet. Move me all around, move me from this town where I thought I should be. With my windows open wide, I can feel you by my side, and I hear beautiful noises, and I hear beautiful noises, Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. could speak. Bathe me in that fire. I'm changing my desires. You're pulling me with my windows open wide. Oh, with my windows open wide, I can feel you by my side, and I hear beautiful noises, and I hear beautiful noises, Thank you.
That was beautiful noise.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very beautiful noise. Hi, I'm Susie Blake, and the CSL theme for the year, in case you've forgotten, is a grand rising. And Theresa's theme is about step up, step out, step forward. And to me, that's all about movement. Now, how many of you remember watching a toddler learn to walk? Anybody? That was you one day way back in the, I won't say how many years. We've all walked in here today, and I think that's a testament of the Holy Spirit that's in us. We never gave up when we were learning to walk. Never. How many of you would think that a little kid sitting in his diaper on the floor said, I'm not going to do this today. I'm just not. Or, this is too much, I can't. So the human spirit was in us right from the get-go. And we need to remember that, because we do forget about it. We don't give up. If we fall, so what? There's no procrastinating. You can't think about it. You just get up. And we fall a lot through life. And I fell last October. I can do this. I had a heart attack. It scared the shit out of me. And I fell, and it was like Humpty Dumpty. Take all the pieces and put them together. I didn't want to give up. I knew I could do it. But the person who came into my life that helped me the most, that I took to bed every night, I'm sorry, Jim, was Mark Nepo. And he wrote a book called Falling Down and Getting Up. And I read it 3 times. And it really touched me. I love this guy. So there are some things I'd like to share with you that he said, some in this book and some in others. Oh, I'm leaking. Okay. The further I make it into this life, the more I realize God is everywhere. and the extraordinary is waiting quietly beneath the skin of all that is ordinary. Light is both in the broken bottle and the diamond. Music is in both the flowing of the violin or guitar and the water dripping from the drainage pipe. Yes, God is under the porch as well as on the top of the mountain. Joy is in both the front row and the bleachers, if we are all simply willing to be where we are. Thank you.
I'm coming off of a long work week, so I'm doing my best. That was beautiful. Thank you. So this song is called Unbound, and this is another song I wrote. I haven't played this one in a while, but I'm really excited to play this one. So the lyrics of the chorus are, "We have just begun to enjoy this rush. Pieces will break from all of us. But when we find that we're combined, we won't feel left behind." So it means this is like a song about not being afraid of loss, not being afraid of what we see, because nothing's bound, everything's everywhere. There's a lot that we can't even see. And so, yeah, it's about being combined, and it's a spiritual song I wrote. Okay.
Mighty oceans in the air, a fallen tree, its dust flies everywhere. Nothing's bound. Birds soar 'cause they are free, losing feathers in the breeze. We love all that we need, and yet everything will leave. We hold on screaming loud, afraid to be unbound. But we have just begun to let ourselves enjoy this rush. Pieces will break from all of us, but when we find that we're combined, we won't feel left behind. A fire burns the forest back to green, and ash was once a part of all we see. It moves around. A tired man lays down to sleep. It's the end of his journey. We close our eyes to what this means and beg him not to leave. We hold on screaming loud, afraid to be unbound. But we have just begun to let ourselves enjoy this rush. Pieces will break from all of us, but
Look at that. Minister to the left of me, minister to the right of me, minister in front of me, ministers all around me. It's really awesome. It's so awesome. You know, I'm listening to Emily, and I'm thinking of last week with Matthew here, and I'm thinking how blessed we are and how grateful I am that that Spirit really talked to me about music before we started this thing that we do here on Sundays, right? You know, you may not know this, but I picked 11 o'clock for our time to meet. Mike was on that first board, you remember. Why? So musicians could be here. So it would give them an extra hour's sleep because they're gigging on Saturday night. You know, I really, I love music, and I know that music touches us in a way that my words never will. So it's just so beautiful. Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much for sharing of yourself, too. Thank you. So as she said, grand rising. That's how we've never done it before. And step up, step out, step forward. Last week we were talking about, and even the week before with Elaine, we're talking about that if we're awakening to something new, then we must also awaken ourselves to a new experience, a new way of showing up, a new expression, right? That it's all of that. It's not just a new thought and then you're done, right? It's more than that. And so as we're stepping into this idea, this identity of us being divine humans, if we're stepping into our power of who we really are, our spiritual superpowers, then it's also about what we do, right? The moving forward. It's also about that. I'm wondering how many people, I don't know if at home you can hear it. You hear the magic, the woodpecker, they're magic. It's just the beauty, the dance, the song, the magic. Love it, love it, love it. So are you ready? Are you ready to step up, step out, step forward? You ready to do that in your life? Yeah, I hope so. I'm not seeing too terribly many heads moving, so I hope so. And then let me ask you this question, and I really would like to see your heads bob either way it needs to bob. Do you remember your New Year's vision? Because we visioned a lot in December, at the end of December, and then through January, we did it a lot. So you remember what came to you, you remember what's wanting to come through you now. And so I wonder if you can kind of take a pulse on that, where you are. Here we are at the end of the first quarter, right? Yikes. How you doing? Yeah. So last week I talked about problems, not letting problems stand in the way, and not getting ourselves so wound up, bound by the minutia of trying to figure things out, but to surrender and allow Spirit, right? To be in that place of just really letting go and knowing that wisdom will guide us. But sometimes, even when we've received guidance, grand wisdom, we don't want to do it, right? We feel stuck. We don't want to move forward. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We don't want to budge. That's inertia. That's inertia. I know about this thing called inertia. Let me give you the definition of inertia. The tendency to do nothing or remain unchanged. Now, that might bring up ideas of apathy or disinterest, maybe even laziness, lolling about. In physics, this is what the definition is. A property of matter a property of matter by which it continues in its existing state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless that state is changed by an external force. Now, do we have to be hit by a 2x4? Come on. People of a certain age don't need to be hit by a 2x4 anymore. We don't need that. We don't need that. It takes effort to overcome inertia. It takes effort. It takes our attention. It takes our intention and attention. Just like happily ever after. It's not a myth if you give it attention and intention and, right? Yeah. So here's the affirmation for today. Grounded in truth, I step forward into a greater good. Does that feel comfortable? Go ahead and repeat it with me if you want. Grounded in truth, I step forward into ever greater good. All right. So today we can activate. Let's activate that vision. Let's activate that wisdom that was coming to us in January that's still trying to get our attention without it being a big hit on the head, right? Without it being that push or pain. Without that, right? So we can put our feet into it. We're looking for concrete ways that we can carry these new ideas, this new awareness forward into our lives. Concrete ways, into our own lives, into our spiritual community, the larger community, the whole planet. I believe the planet's calling for it. I believe humanity is calling for it. And I believe that Science of Mind is a teaching that has some pretty darn good answers to that call and that cry. Yeah. There's an importance in this teaching of embodiment, of really becoming that wholeness, that oneness, the truth things that we talk about, that love is unconditional, that prosperity and abundance is everywhere present. There's a piece of it that's called embodiment. And the only way to truly embody something is to demonstrate it, is to move into action with it. It's really the only way to really embody something, right? So again, I know about this thing called inertia. I know about old habits, and I know about saying that I want to do something and then making excuses of like, I'm tired, I'm too busy, I got to do this before I can do that. Sound familiar to anybody? Uh-huh. Yeah. So inertia, a body at rest tends to stay at rest. Unless we want to give it a loving kick in the butt. Not the pounding with the 2x4, but a little loving, shake it up. Little loving thing, right? Because the truth is, the spiritual truth is that passion inside of us has a vibrancy with it. There's an aliveness inside of us that wants to come through. And there's something that animates us. It's not even like it's hard work, but it does take our participation in it. Yeah. So we want to look at who we are and who we're becoming. That's the vision. We want to stay grounded in truth this whole time so we can get moving. So, who are we? And who are we becoming? That could be a mantra for you all week long. Who am I? And who am I becoming? Who am I and who am I becoming? And when I feel stuck, why? What is that? For me, sometimes it's fear. Right? You all know that false evidence appearing real. Sometimes it's that which is just not true. I mean, I'm not usually facing tigers, lions, and bears. It's usually something else, and my mind has created a story around it that I deem as fearful. So sometimes when I'm stuck, it's fear. Sometimes when I'm stuck, I'm in a place of resisting what is. I think Susie spoke about that, right? An acceptance. Instead of that false belief, as Byron Katie talks about and teaches, is that belief that this shouldn't be, that something shouldn't be the way it is. Really? How do we know that? It is this way. So then what do we do with it, right? What do we do with it? And then sometimes when I'm feeling stuck, it's all of the above and more, but there's still false ideas, right? Stuckness is because of false ideas, false premises. Something that I think is keeping me safe, something that I think is protecting me. So you can ask yourself these questions. When you're in the place of who am I and who am I becoming and why am I not moving in that direction, why? Why do I feel stuck? What is it? And just play with that. Play with that. I think curiosity is such a great thing. The truth of who we are and the vision of who we're becoming informs then, when we're in that place of really living with this, really dancing with this, it informs every thought, every word, every deed, every action. It empowers us to move forward. When we're truly living in that way, when we're truly dancing with it, when we're truly in that playfulness with this thing called life, but with our vision, with who we are, with what wants to happen by means of us. Do you feel the integrity in that? That's my definition of integrity. A lot of times you'll hear people's definition of integrity sounding something like something that's moralistic. And that is not my definition. Integrity is standing in the truth of who I am. And that then every thought and every word and every deed and every action is an expression of who I know myself to be. Who I know myself to be. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes is, "The greatness of good which our mind is able to conceive should be affirmed as part of our everyday experience." And from such daily meditations, we should venture forth into a life of action with the will to do, the determination to be, and the joy of a becoming. God, don't you love that? To venture forth into a life of action with the will to do, the determination to be, and the joy in becoming. Oh, God, I don't know. Is that exciting? That is so exciting to me. So what's on your bucket list? That's another way to say vision. What stretches you? What feels like it's calling you to be a bigger, better expression of your true self with the capital S? And what keeps you from moving forward? As we deepen in this teaching, what we find is there's a natural movement from getting things to having things to being, right? There's just kind of this natural progression. For those of you that have been in this teaching for a while, you know that to be true, right? It's definitely been true in my life. And Dr. Michael Beckwith, the designer, the creator of this spiritual tool that we use called visioning, that's part of how he teaches visioning, is that there's an awakening of life happening to me, to life happening through me, to life is me, as me, is me, right? There's a natural progression. There's stages of understanding that we go through, that there's a power for good in the universe, and I can use it, and it can use me. And oh, wait, I am it. I am the hands and the feet. I am the love and support of the universe itself. You've heard me say that. That's my I am. I am the love and support of the universe. And so instead of seeking it, I am it. And so can my thoughts, my words, my deeds, my actions be that? A truth this big, a truth this big in you, it can't stay inside. It has to come out. It has to be shared. It has to be. Emerson called that a divine discontent because we know it, because it's pushing at us, it's pulling at us, it's tugging on us. Yeah, it's always trying to get our attention. And so when we're in a place of inactivity or dormancy, we might get hit with the 2x4. But when we're recognizing that this is how life operates, this is how spirit moves into form through its creation to experience and express life, then there's a vigor in it, right? There's a vitality and an energy. So I wonder, where are we going collectively? I'm asking you to think about this yourself individually, but where are we going collectively? There's a vision that this center has. And we were told a long time ago that people without a vision perish. Yes? I believe that is very true in church communities. I absolutely believe that. Yeah. And we see across the world and across this country that churches' attendance has dwindled and is dwindling, and in a good bit of it, not in all of it, but in a good bit of it. And so the industry of church, the business of being about God, right? The commerce, the trade of it all, has to have every thought, every word, every deed, every action be in alignment with who we say we are and what our vision is. Yeah? All right. So 2 weeks from now, I mentioned this last week, but 2 weeks from now, the first Sunday in April, is the anniversary of us meeting 5 years every Sunday. Yeah, every Sunday. Like, we started before that, but it wasn't every Sunday. It didn't look like this. Here in this room 5 years ago. But we want to stay current, right? We want to stay current. We want to make sure it's relevant. So that's why we continue to vision. Last month we visioned. Today we're going to vision afterwards. In April, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for us to vision together online. But we want to make sure that we stay in communication, in communion with the divine, that we're listening, that we're asking, that we're awake and aware, because things shift. We grow. We've changed. I've changed as a minister over the last 5 years. So life is evolutionary. It's about that. So we don't just ask a couple questions once and say, okay, we're done. We continue to vision. And I would suggest that the rapidly changing world in which we live in, whether it's our nature, the condition of the earth, whether it's social issues, politics, whatever we're talking about, the technology, AI, just the rapid changes that we're seeing in our world, that first reminds us that old patterns and old ways of being sometimes don't serve us anymore. Like, sometimes they get in the way of what wants to be realized, right? So new situations demand new ideas, a new vision. So it's another reason for us to keep our mind and our hearts open to who we are and what we're all about, right? So we can each lean into what is mine to do, and I invite everybody to continue doing that. That vision that came to you at the beginning of the year, what wants to be expressed through you uniquely, individually, We want to be about that, and I want to support you, and so do our practitioners. Want to support you in being about that. Ernest Holmes said, those who have a vision and then go to work to make it come true, never looking away from it, but with one pointedness and calm determination, sticking to an idea until it becomes an accomplished fact, that's greatness. That's greatness. Now, I will tell you, a lot of what showed up in visioning when we began this community, and our first visioning was in August of 2018. August 16th, as a matter of fact, 2018. A lot of what we visioned then has happened. So it's time. It's time. And we want to be grounded in our spiritual principles. You know, the Science of Mind, the Centers for Spiritual Living, is not only a philosophy about oneness and the power of consciousness, but we provide practical tools. Practical tools for each one of us immersing ourselves in setting intentions for ourselves to dive deeper into this teaching and to learn new skills and new practices and new experiences. I will be doing that in May, and you'll hear more about it, but I'm doing a 10-day intensive into restorative justice and peace building and that type of thing through the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building. But I ask you, what new activity, discipline, learning opportunity could you step into? Now, I know some of you are really active, and I commend you for that. That you are paying attention to that, and you are moving forward in those ways. Here's another affirmation that helps us. Everything I do, say, and think is quickened into right action, into productive action, into increased action. Do you like that one? Ooh, I love that one too. It's powerful. Let's try it. Everything I do, say, and think is quickened into right action, into productive action, into increased action. Do you remember that story I told you last week about the ham and the pan? Oh, yeah. All right. Get a bigger pan. Get a bigger pan, y'all. We must open our doors of our consciousness and expand and expand and expand and expand, Ernest Holmes said. No longer think in terms of the backyard lot. I love that. I had to read it a couple times. Backyard lot, like, you know, okay, we're going to fit maybe a church here, right? No longer think in terms of a backyard lot, but in terms of an infinite nature of the universe. Yeah, expand and expand and expand and expand. So what new activity, expression, idea would you like to see initiated here at the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, here in your spiritual community? I am always open to hearing that. Your board of trustees is open to hearing that. There is a survey over there on that table that has been with us since the very first day we've met. If there's not a question on there that you want to give an answer to, write it on the back. You got a whole page. Or you can stay for the visioning afterwards, and we're going to talk about that briefly, because I think a good thing to do when we open ourselves up to Spirit and ask Spirit, ooh, what wants to happen here? What wants to move through me? Is to get your stuff out of the way first. So I call that the ego download, and we just like, here's what I want, here's what I think, here's what I think, here's what I think. Good. Now we're done with that. Let's see what Spirit wants to do. Because very often it's two different things. "2,000 years ago, Paul invited us, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. I am absolutely committed to that. I am forever committed to that idea of renewing my mind. But not only that, I I have to put it into action. I have to step up, step out, step forward to recognize that truth, whatever that renewing happens to be at that moment. You and I, we are the change that we want to see in the world. I know it sounds trite, but it is so, so true. Do you know that it's true? Yeah. We, you and I, we're the love. We're the love, we're the acceptance, we're the center of belonging that each one of us wants to see in the world. Are we not? We are. We are. And together, when we ground ourselves in this idea of who and what we are and what we are becoming, is there anything that could possibly stand in our way? We're magnificent, right? With the ability to transform our own lives and this world, do we not? We absolutely do. So, before we embark on that quest, though, I want you to remember, take a breath. It's a journey, not a destination. It does not have to feel heavy and hard. So if any of that felt heavy and hard, let it go. Because it's not that. Then that comes from the ego, not from spirit, when it feels heavy and hard. Our individualized universe is forever complete, yet forever completing itself, in order that every experience may teach us to transcend some previous one in an ever-ascending cycle upward bound. That's on the Science of Mind 337, page 337. It is not about inertia, and it is not about force. It is about flow. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Blessings on your journey. Yeah. Emily.
All right. Great talk, Theresa. Thank you. All right, so I don't think I've sung this song very much here. This one is another song I wrote. This one's called Once We've Built This House. And it's a metaphorical song. But I wrote it at a time when I was seeking all my safety and everything I need on people. I was like, if I don't have these people in my life, I'm gonna crumble. And that's what happened. Those people were gone, I crumbled. And from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I need to build a new house within myself so that I'm safe, because I can't put my safety on others. I need to have a safe place within myself. And I think that's why we're all coming here, is because we're trying to build a safe place for ourselves. So this one's called Once We've Built This House. And yeah. Here it is as I knew it would be. Here you are as I saw you in a dream. These walls that are shaking gave me my whole life. This floor has been moving beyond me, out of sight. But once we've built this house, we will never look back. And once we've climbed our reach, we will look to the sky and give our whole lives to what once was nothing.
give our whole lives to what once was nothing. Castles are made just to only fall at our feet. These rooms, they are changing, and I am not as complete. You were the one who would crawl to me on your knees, and she was the one who I always thought I'd see. And once we've built this house, we will never look back. And once we've climbed our reach, we will look to the sky and give our whole lives to what once was nothing. We'll give our whole lives to what once was nothing. Hope, give me hope, give me hope, it'll hold. Hope, give me hope, give me hope, it'll hold. Once we've built this house, we will never look back. And once we've climbed our reach, we will look to the sky and give our whole lives to what once was nothing. We'll give our whole lives to what once was nothing. We'll give our whole lives to what once was nothing.
Thank you, Emily. That was beautiful. Hi, I'm Richard Houston, one of your licensed practitioners, and now it's time for our offering. So if you'll take your offering in your hand, place it over your heart, if that feels comfortable. Even if you do it electronically like me, just bring that to mind. And for those online, there'll be some scrolling that happens to show you the various ways you can give at this time. So we just take a moment and go within and know that we are blessed. We open ourselves up to the flow of giving and receiving. And as we open ourselves up to the flow, we just know that divine order manifests in our lives in a beautiful way. We open up our minds, our hearts, and our souls to this amazing, incredible unfolding. And we are blessed in our blessing. And we just let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
And let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
All right. So for announcements, visioning today right after service. So please stay and enjoy and help with that process as we envision what our future will be. Easter is next Sunday. There'll be music, sacred ritual, and some food. So it sounds like a fun time. There's a... Oh, if you bring it. Okay.
You bring the fun time.
I think that was a request. To bring a dish.
Oh, that's what you meant.
And celebrate together and share food together. So there's a list of events on the emails. If you haven't signed up, you can sign up for our email list. On the website, it's also there. And there's some on the table over here, too. I'm the practitioner of the day, and I will be over here to this side of the room. If you'd like prayer, we do that every Sunday as we're here. And we do that also by putting in requests. If you have any requests in the box, through the email at prayer@cslculturalcoast.org, or just contacting any of the practitioners. Their phone numbers are on the website for your enjoyment, in a sense, of just being able to unfold what's right for you. So with that, one more song from Emily.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
So yeah, my name is Emily Frost, and my website's emilyfrostmusic.com. If you have access to going online, it has my schedule on there, and I'm very excited. I'm playing at a brand new place. It's called Rose and Ivy, and it's the restaurant that's right by the Sarasota Opera House. It's been a bunch of different things. It was Umbrellas, and then it was Azul. Now it's called Rose and Ivy. It's the best it's ever been. They have this beautiful courtyard, and I'm going to play there next Thursday from 6 to 9. And I play with a drummer these days. Most of my gigs I'm playing with my drummer. He's great. He's so talented. I get tips sometimes, and they're like, "You're great, but this one's for him." Like, he gets his own tips. And I love that, though, because that's what I want from a musician, is that, like, I love that. I'm just like, yeah, he's really good. So if you can, that would be awesome if you could come out. If you can't remember that, go to my website, emilyfrostmusic.com. All right, I'm going to take you out on this one.
cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. No puedo hacer todo lo bueno que el mundo necesita. Todo el mundo necesita todo lo bueno que puedo hacer. Je ne peux pas faire tout le bien dont le monde a besoin. Tout le monde a besoin de tout le bien que je peux lui faire. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. 我买能蒙熟世界，但我能盡力奉獻。L'Aqdar Amalou, Kul Jayed, Al-Alam, Muhtaj, Lakin Al-Alam, Muhtaj, Kul Jayed Amalou. אני לא עושה את כל הטוב שהעולם